women for not honouring Sita too, and calling the BJP out once again for politicizing religion ahead of the Lok Sabha polls. Now, of the INDIA alliance partners, it is the TMC that's messaging has perhaps been the clearest, with Banerjee taking out a multi-faith rally yesterday where she was accompanied by religious leaders from multiple different denominations. You have the Congress, for example, that has had a more mixed response to all that has taken place in Ayodhya, and we'll cover each of the other INDIA leaders in just a second. But as the Sangh Parivar steps up their Ram belongs to all, Sabka Ram pitch, and frames all of yesterday's developments in a victory for all light, we look to understand the opposition's complaints and how they hold up against yesterday's ceremony. This is our show tonight. Okay, to take a deeper look at this story, let's take a look at the different opposition reactions. We promised to tell you what it is that different INDIA leaders have had to say, how they responded to the Pran Pratishtha ceremony that was taking place yesterday. So let's take a look first at the DMK in Tamil Nadu. Remember that you had Nirmala Sitharaman, the union minister, make the accusation that in Tamil Nadu, the Pran Pratishtha ceremony was not being screened in many places, pujas weren't being allowed. The Tamil Nadu government has clapped back. They've said that this is rumour mongering. Nothing of this nature took place. Let's move on to the next leader. Okay, Mamata Banerjee, West Bengal. As we told you a little while earlier, hers has been the sharpest attack. In terms of those who you see who've been aggressive and led, her attack has been the loudest from within the INDIA. She said it's wrong to embrace a place of worship built on the corpses of the innocent. Remember, when you understand each of these leaders' responses, understand also their vote banks and how they play into each of these responses. Let's take a look now at the Congress, where you have Siddaramaiah, who is someone whose policies in the past too have stood by a secular ethos, a secular appeal. He's made this comparison, and this is something he said yesterday while thousands of Havans were carried out in Karnataka and he inaugurated a statue of Ram. He said that Congress worships Mahatma's Ram and not the BJP's Ram. So this is three leaders we've taken a look at: Siddaramaiah, the West Bengal Chief Minister, and before that the DMK's Chief Minister in Tamil Nadu. So these are all Chief Ministers is what I'm trying to highlight here. Now, what did the Kerala Chief Minister Pinarayi Vijayan have to say? For them, perhaps the opposition is the easiest. The CPIM was the first to come out and issue a formal statement saying they wouldn't attend the Pran Pratishtha ceremony. They've said that celebrating a single religion is wrong, and in fact in Kerala there is one school that announced closures for a part of the day, and an investigation on that is currently taking place, announced by the government. Now, what has Saduddin Owaisi from the AIMIM said? He said they say forget December 6th, which remember is the date the Babri Masjid was demolished in 1992. Can they forget their parents' death? That's what Owaisi has asked. Okay, so these are a few opposition responses. We've also brought you a little context on everything that's taken place. Let's now take a look on the screen behind me at the Congress, because we haven't highlighted them in the way that we'd like to right now. So we showed you already what it is that Siddaramaiah in Karnataka had to say, is the Chief Minister. Now we're going to bring you the responses of two very senior leaders. These are all more recent attacks that have taken place in the last few hours. Veerappa Moily, senior Congress leader, saying, I doubt if the Prime Minister fasted for 11 days. Remember, the Prime Minister had said that he would be taking part in, and our reporters had reported this too, that over the 11 days before the Pran Pratishtha ceremony, he was only drinking coconut water, he was sleeping on just a blanket on the floor. That had been part of the ceremonies in the run-up to the Pran Pratishtha. Now, Moily's also said if he hasn't fasted, then the sanctum has been made impure. So this is what Moily has had to say. Now, what is the other response we've got coming in from a Congress leader? They've said that a couple should have presided over the Pran Pratishtha ceremony. This isn't the first time we're hearing this particular response. The way in which the Pran Pratishtha was done, the role that Modi played, this many questions have been asked about. Here he said, when rituals are broken, one will have to face a bad omen. We're going to take a look at all of these responses and what the different leaders have to say in response right here on the show tonight. As you can see, he's also saying here the Prime Minister is an autocrat. This is a continuation of a messaging we've heard throughout the day from other leaders too. You can see it on your screens right now. And it's also important to point out over here that we have had a vast array of responses. Okay, this is the topic for the day tonight. As the politics rages on, the Sabka Ram that the BJP says and the Sangh Parivar says Is that actually a valid concept? Let's take a look tonight.
People who want to worship Ram, who's now coming back to his city into a proper temple. We would like to watch it.
Chief Minister has very rightly called the BJP as a university of a WhatsApp university which spreads false information.
ಕಾಂಗ್ರೆಸ್ ಪಕ್ಷ ಮಹಾತ್ಮ ಗಾಂಧೀಜಿಯವರು ರಾಮನ್ನ ಪೂಜಿಸ್ತೀವಿ, ಬಿಜೆಪಿ ರಾಮನ್ ಪೂಜಿಸಲ್ಲ.
ಕಾಂಗ್ರೆಸ್ನವರು ಎಲ್ಲ ಎಲೆಕ್ಷನ್ ದೃಷ್ಟಿಯಿಂದ ನೋಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಬಂದರು. ಅವರು ಇಷ್ಟು ದಿನ ಆಯ್ತಲ್ಲ ಮುಸ್ಲಿಮರ ಓಲೈಕೆ ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕೆ, ಅಲ್ಪಸಂಖ್ಯಾತರ ಓಲೈಕೆ ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕೆ, ಇದು ರಾಮನ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರು.
কোথায় ছিল সেদিন যেদিন বাবরি মসজিদ ধ্বংস হয়ে গিয়েছিল?
As those who have pledged to preserve and protect our constitution, let us reaffirm our commitment to its secular character by declining to participate in the event, upholding our constitutional responsibilities.
कोई जीबी पंथ की बात नहीं करता, कोई डिसेस की बात नहीं करता, और जब आप इन तमाम सियासी जमातों से पूछेंगे क्यों नहीं बात करते, तो बोलते अरे भूल जाओ ना भाई तुम लोग। मैं इन लोगों से पूछ रहा हूँ, तुम्हारी बाप की मौत को भूल सकते क्या? तुम तुम्हारी माँ की मौत को भूल सकते क्या?
Joining us to take a deeper dive into this discussion tonight, we have with us an entire panel. Charu Pragya, spokesperson for the BJP, Ravi Srivastav, a political analyst, and R. Rajagopalan, senior journalist, join us right now to provide us with context. We will have more experts joining us in just a second, but let's start first with the BJP. Before we go over, ma'am, to you, I just want to tell all of our panelists, I'll come over to you first for an initial response on this entire topic, then we'll take a deeper dive. Charu Pragya ma'am, I want to come to you first and ask you, we just walked our audiences through everything that it is that the opposition has had to say. Now, a lot of this isn't new. These are all statements we've heard variations of over the last month. I do want to ask you though, particularly to Mamata Banerjee's rally that she took out yesterday afternoon, the strong words she directed towards the BJP, what did the BJP make of the opposition's responses all through the day yesterday?
So a very good evening to you and a very good evening to all our viewers. Now look at the irony of the Indian political opposition. They have criticized the BJP for decades, saying that our manifesto has always included building of the Ram Mandir. And why haven't we built it already? The famous line we've heard while growing up is मंदिर वहीं बनाएंगे लेकिन तारीख नहीं बताएंगे. तो आज मंदिर बन गया है, भगवान जी का प्राण प्रतिष्ठा हो चुका है. They are worried now कि मंदिर क्यों बन गया? Look at the irony. So they are upset with us because we are delivering on all our manifesto promises, whether it was the abrogation of Article 370 or the construction of Ram Mandir. Now, all these political statements which are coming from various opposition leaders are frankly laughable, because you knew the Supreme Court had given a verdict which was in favor of Ram Lalla. You knew that the construction of the mandir had already started. It's going to be inaugurated anytime soon. When you call it political, you forget that actually all of you were invited. In mass, if you had attended, in number you would have been greater than any BJP representatives, because BJP was not invited. The person who was representing the entire country for all of us was Modi ji. You could have been there. You could have taken a delegation there. You could have written letters saying, I am unable to attend, but my deputy will be there. You didn't bother because you had to tend to your vote banks. You didn't bother because you still rely on appeasement politics and not the politics of development. And those who are again talking in loops around the usual liberal agendas of talking about garibi or talking about development, let me remind them that a record number of 25 crore people have risen out of poverty in India in the last 9 years. So please don't think that our dharma is linked to the developmental work that we do on ground. They are completely independent of each other, and we can make sure that we take care of both.
Okay, Ms. Pragya, thank you for the starting statements. I'll go over to each of our panelists now to understand more. I want to go over right now to Ravi Srivastava, who's with us. So I want to ask you, when we just take a look at all of the different opposition responses, you have a party like the TMC that was very sharp and very coordinated in their attack. Mamata Banerjee speaking in a single line. Say what you will off the perspective she had, it was a singular position. So compared to that, there is a Congress where you had a far more scattered voice coming through. Now, I know the Congress tried to say that was them allowing their leaders to pursue whatever it is that they believed in. But when you saw all of yesterday's developments, some Congress leaders even choosing to attend the ceremony, Congress leaders hosting Havans, the Chief Minister in Karnataka hosting Havans at the same time saying that we only respect Gandhi's Ram. What did you make of that entire approach, sir? Just focusing on the Congress.
Good evening, Toya. First of all, I find one positive out of it. The positive is that you, not alone you, entire media had been talking in last 5-6 months. Opposition is fragmented, opposition is fractured, opposition is divided. They are fighting among themselves. They are creating all kind of confusions in the minds of people. One issue where entire opposition has been found standing on a single ground. I think you show me one person from the opposition who has been there. And it is not that somebody opposes Ram Mandir. Ram Mandir is a great event. It is absolutely a fabulous thing to happen in India. But it does not mean that the kind of narrative being created that if you are not attending the event, you are against it. You could be having different opinions as well. What Arvind Kejriwal has done in Delhi, he made a Sundarkand part. Even yesterday he was chanting various religious things and events he was attending yesterday. So everybody has done it in his own way. People have their own way of worshipping. See, the religion is a matter of darshan, philosophy. Religion is not a matter of pradarshan.
Okay, Mr. Srivastava, let me just ask you one question here though. So I appreciate what you're trying to say, that look, the INDIA alliance had different stances on this. I think that's what you're trying to say. They had different stances on it and each party was allowed to practice what it believed. So you had, for example, the Aam Aadmi party that welcomed the Ram Mandir, that held various ceremonies across Delhi, for example. You had a party like the Congress that sent some of its leaders inside the Pran Pratishtha, and you also had some leaders who stayed away. And then of course you have other parties that altogether stayed away, like the TMC. But sir, I want to ask you, and that's what I was asking you here, from Mamata Banerjee, you had a sharp attack and the TMC was unified in that attack. So the Congress in itself had multiple different voices. Do you think that bodes well for a party, sir, for the fact, just to see that the party sat out during the last few weeks?
Absolutely. See, Congress is a very democratic party. Right in the beginning, they had said that whosoever wants to go and attend it can go and do it. Okay. On 15th of January, entire, I think, UP's Congress unit, they had gone there. They had taken on Makar Sankranti. They took the holy bath there. So this is their astha. This is their thinking. The opinions are, the comments are very, very sharp. The comment has come from Pinarayi Vijayan, is altogether different. The comment came from Mamata Banerjee, is also very different. And everybody has made his own way, his own mind clear. But as far as the Congress is concerned, I think they had taken on the very beginning, एक आधा अधूरा मंदिर है, हम नहीं जाएंगे और हमें ये जिस तरह से ये निमंत्रण पत्र बांट रहे हैं, this is not the way of talking.
But I'll ask you in just a second, sir. So just stay with us. I want to go over to the other panelists we have with us. We have senior journalist Suman C. Raman, who's also with us. Sir, I want to come over to you to ask you more about the developments that took place, particularly in Tamil Nadu. So you had something very interesting play out on social media, and I just want to give our audiences a little bit of context to understand this story. You had the Union Finance Minister, Nirmala Sitharaman, in a series of posts say that they weren't allowing, the police was not allowing the screening of the Pran Pratishtha to take place. She also made the allegation that certain pujas for the Pran Pratishtha were being stopped. Now, when we spoke, you did have the DMK respond. The DMK said that none of this was true. But when our reporters spoke to the police officials on the ground, they said that the BJP never applied for permission in the first place. So, what was your perspective on the developments taking place on the ground in Tamil Nadu through yesterday?
Yeah. Okay. First of all, what happened yesterday was very simple. There were, day before yesterday, in fact, before the Pran Pratishtha, day before yesterday, there were reports that, worship in special pujas and archanas in temples, distributing free food to people, all of that was not permitted. Now that apparently does not appear to be true, because almost everywhere that was confirmed that nobody was stopping them. What was actually stopped was the live telecast on LED screens, which were specially put up in private places. So the problem was, yesterday morning the BJP, the Sangh Parivar outfits and their supporters went to court, both to the High Court, Madras High Court and the Supreme Court, and they got orders which where the government actually said, no, we have not stopped any of this. So actually the LED screens which were removed from where Mrs. Nirmala Sitharaman was actually supposed to view the function, were then put back at around 11 o'clock or 11:15, so that after the court orders came. So the DMK government did make a mistake. They should not have stopped it, especially in private places. Public places is a different issue. They could have claimed a law and order situation and the police have got all the right. But in private places, what they did was extremely silly. And once the court, gave its orders, it became inevitable that these LED screens were going to be used. But it actually gave a little bit of a political point scoring for the BJP yesterday in Tamil Nadu, when they were able to sort of point to the DMK. And you would have seen many of the leaders of the BJP even put out the tweets in Hindi. So saying India Alliance, that was very clever, because they were, quite frankly, they are not really concerned about the DMK as much as they are about bashing the Congress on it. So they went to town, putting out tweets in Hindi saying, see what the DMK is doing. And not what DMK is doing as in DMK is doing, but see what the India Alliance parties are doing. So I think that yesterday the BJP scored not only in Tamil Nadu but outside also, thanks to the the silly and immature way in which the DMK government handled the situation.
So I want to ask you, there have been two statements that have come in from Udayanidhi Salin in the last 6 months that have caused controversy. If we don't focus on the meat of those comments, and instead I ask you, sir, do you at all see the BJP, if we just look at the national plan of the BJP or the agenda that they've been following, do you at all see the BJP targeting the DMK in particular? Because this is what some experts believed yesterday when the union minister hit out.
Look, Tamil Nadu is rife with with the rumors that the DMK and BJP are actually quite close. And this entire thing is being done in an orchestrated manner to embarrass the India Alliance, particularly the Congress. So there is, though ideologically the DMK and the BJP are at rival ends of the spectrum, there is a very, very strong feeling. So, for instance, they're reading between the lines. A number of, ED raids happened. One minister was arrested. And after that, there has been a lot of silence. Nothing has happened in the last few months. And the bonhomie that was seen between... So the Prime Minister is invited to a Khelo India Youth Games inauguration. And he spends 2 hours in the function. He pats Mr. Udayanidhi on his shoulders with his father present. And, so the bonhomie is... So people are talking about it. People are asking, hey, what's going on? I mean, and at the state level, the leaders are going hammer and tongs at each other. So there is something. And one thing that people suspect is both of them are working in tandem to sink the AIADMK. And it suits the DMK to weaken the AIADMK because it makes 2024 Lok Sabha elections an easy win for them. But in the long run, if they allow the BJP to grow significantly in Tamil Nadu, then we know what the BJP has done in multiple states to such regional parties. So that could be the fate that will await the DMK. They have not understood that as yet. But as of now, the relationship between the two parties is much cozier than all these public fights that are going on.
Okay, Mr. Raman, thank you for taking us behind the scenes. Charu Pragya, I'll come to you in just a second. I saw your hand up. I just want to go over to our fourth panelist first. R. Rajagopalan is with us. He's a senior political analyst. Sir, can I ask you, this morning, if you just took a look at some of the editorials that have been written after all of the ceremonies we saw yesterday, one or two of them were particularly interesting because they questioned, and Charu Pragya talked about this right now. She talked about the fact that the Ram Mandir has forever been central to the BJP. The BJP's, not just the BJP's propaganda, but also what the BJP has openly said they wanted to achieve. Mr. Rajagopalan, I want to ask you, there was a question that a number of these editorials asked, that now that the BJP had achieved the opening of the Ram Mandir, what next? Could they perhaps reach over the aisle, reach out to minorities in a overwhelming manner? What do you see the next few years looking like?
That is what Mr. Mohan Bhagavat, the RSS leader, has also hinted at Toyaji. Mr. Bhagavat has very clearly said that there should be a boni home, there should be unity, there should be success. And that is also got reflected in Prime Minister's speech, and many editorials and even public debaters in television studios and in YouTubes, they articulated a subject, what Mr. Narendra Modi has said, Ram to aag nahi hai. So that type of, fear, the Congress and also the opposition putting in the minds of voters, Mr. Narendra Modi demolished it. For another 25 years, up to 2035, up to 2047, what should be our role? Beyond Ram, it is now Ram Mandir Plus. That is what the editorials commented. And the Prime Minister's emotional speech yesterday also reflected that what are going to be in the store for BJP in another 10 years to come. Apart from that, Toyaji, I would like to say that opposition is totally divided. I totally support and agree with what Dr. Sumantaraman said. In Tamil Nadu, DMK is cozying up towards BJP, distancing from Congress. So that shows that Congress is, in a way, is getting disconnected in Tamil Nadu. Congress leaders in Tamil Nadu also saying that DMK is getting bad name because of the rehabilitation work after the tsunami and also these cyclones, etc. People are agitated, therefore they want to go towards the ADMK side. The overall picture, as Sumantaraman said, in Tamil Nadu, DMK and Congress alliance are on the break side. I can very safely say. And it is all pro postures. Yesterday, the Supreme Court judgment was very clear that freedom of expression, freedom of religious, control should not be banned. So if you add these things, joints, you get a clear picture that India alliance is almost dead in Indian politics.
Okay, sir, can I just ask you to stay with us? I want to go over to Charu Pragya, who's with us. Ma'am, you've stayed with us as we've heard three other panelists. Obviously, I want to ask you to respond to each point we've just heard. But I also want to ask you, ma'am, and perhaps lead with this question. When we take a look at Mohan Bhagavat's statements yesterday and we look at some of the messaging in Prime Minister Modi's speech, and we believe for a second that the BJP in this new messaging, that this is a party that is going to stand for all, that it is going to stand for minorities. What will that new chapter look like?
So, Toya, let me take a moment to reflect on yesterday with a lot of pride. The first thing is that we saw the kind of crowds that turned up at Ayodhya. No police force could have kept it in check. You know how crowds can behave when in a mob. But nothing untoward happened. The whole country was fine, whole country was safe, was celebrating as one. And this is a credit to Prime Minister Modi and his vision. He has worked on Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas every single day that he has been in office, and this is the truth. It doesn't matter what is the agenda and the narrative the opposition is trying to float, but the fact is that Prime Minister Modi yesterday spoke in such a beautiful, heartfelt manner that we were all moved to tears, because he's right. Ram is not Aag, he's Urja. Ram is not, Vivad, he's Samadhan. And we have reached a point when we are looking at the Ram Mandir not as something that happened in the past. Ram Mandir is now going to be the vision for the future of this country for the next 1,000 years. And our Honorable Prime Minister said that. While we are talking about dharma, while we are talking about religion, it's not like we are disrespecting anyone else's religion. And Modi ji in his speech made that extremely clear. We are celebrating all festivals. But why is it that the opposition still feels that they cannot get forward in political life in this country if they don't resort to appeasement politics? I disagree with my fellow panelist, because he said that for the first time India Alliance has been united. No sir, I disagree with you, because this is the second time India Alliance has shown any kind of solidarity. The first was when DMK made a statement against Sanatan. There were echoes of approval coming from all these political parties who call themselves members of this so-called alliance. They approved of it. Nobody had the courage and to call out the wrong statements given by the DMK leader's talent. Nobody did it. And this time they boycotted the Ram Mandir, not because of any other thing, but only because they wanted to consolidate their vote share, and that's a fact. That is a fact that you cannot run away from. Ayodhya is going to be a center of civilization, culture, religion, everything. That also means that whole area is going to be developed. Awadh is going to see more tourism, more infrastructure, more hotels coming through. All kinds of projects have been launched already. So this is about bringing a better way of life to the people in every single part of the country. Now you were also saying that Stalin and PM Modi have something.
Sorry, we just have a minute left. We just have a minute left.
In
So,
secret.
Shari
I
Pragya,
disagree with you.
1 second. We just
yeah,
have
I'll
a
be
minute
very
left.
quick. Just 10
No.
seconds.
I want to
10
ask you a
seconds,
question and
please.
we'll come to you for the answer here. Ma'am, just before
Yeah.
we came to this entire debate, we
Sure.
brought breaking news to our audiences that in Maharashtra, bulldozers were used on the houses of many people who stopped processions yesterday. Ma'am, the path of law and justice, the use of bulldozers, when yesterday we heralded the use of law in our country. Ma'am, do you not see this as the BJP going back on their own message when it is BJP leaders yesterday who asked for the bulldozers to be used of the Maharashtra government?
That is Sabka Saath.
See, so
That is
no,
Sabka
1
Saath.
minute. No, you know what?
Please allow
you
Charu
want
Pragya
to
to
float
respond.
this narrative, but let me assure you of one thing. This exact piece of news I have not seen yet, but I assure you, wrongdoing is wrongdoing. It doesn't matter who is doing it, what is their political ideology, and nobody in Bharatiya Janata Party is going to endorse any kind of wrongdoing. Let me look more into the matter of why the bulldozers were used, but I assure you of one thing on behalf of the party.
Okay, all right. I'd like to thank all of the panelists that we have with us for joining us over the last few minutes. Next, I'd like to take us to my colleague Shivani Gupta. She's on the ground right now as we speak in Ayodhya, and she provides you with this ground report of some of the ceremonies that are still taking place. Take a look.
It's a moment that everybody had been waiting for. With chants of Jai Shri Ram, we are bringing you these visuals from inside the new Ram temple where the Ram Lala idol was consecrated, the Pran Pratishtha was done, and there are still a lot of people who have come here to take darshan of the new Ram Lala idol. Now this is a moment that obviously has been captured in history. This is a moment that has been etched in history in golden letters. The Prime Minister was the Yajman earlier on January 22 doing the Pran Pratishtha ceremony, and with that, of course, he mentioned how the dream and the struggle of the new Ram temple has finally been fulfilled. Let's go inside. Aarti is going on. Let's get you some exclusive visuals of the Aarti that is going on in the evening now of the Ram Lala. Possibly a few visuals of the Ram Lala as well. As you can see, a lot of people have come in from the media and from the general public. A lot of the security forces are actually now stepping in to do their darshan as well. With camera person Nitin inside the Ram temple in Ayodhya, Shivani Gupta for CNN News 18.
Okay, we're heading away from this story now into a quick break. Coming up after a short break, we take a look at all of the drama that played out today in Assam. Rahul's Nyaya Yatra, as we speak, Rahul Gandhi's Nyaya Yatra is in Guwahati today, and his entry to a temple was blocked yesterday. Today there was further unrest as he tried to enter into Guwahati. Stay tuned to Plain Speak. We'll bring you more in just a few minutes.
Co-powered by
Welcome back. You're watching Plain Speak right here on CNN News 18. We're taking you now to our next story. Dramatic developments in Assam today as hiccups continue for the Rahul Gandhi-led Bharat Nyaya Yatra for a second day today. Yesterday, you remember that Gandhi was prevented from visiting a shrine in the state, purportedly because thousands of people would gather there to mark the Pran Pratishtha ceremony that was taking place in Ayodhya. Now, today, Rahul has claimed that he was prevented from interacting with students at a university in Meghalaya at the instructions of the Union Home Minister. That's number 2. And incident number 3, later in the day, this is the big headline, a scuffle between Yatris and the police taking place as the Yatra tried to enter Guwahati. Now, Congress's Assam chief and a party leader were both injured in this scuffle. The Congress is saying that the BJP Assam government is abusing power to torpedo the Yatra. The BJP is saying that they were trying to maintain law and order across the entire region. Tonight, we look to understand what actually happened and who here is passing the buck. That's what we're taking a look at tonight. Who is creating this unrest in Assam?
ये जो असम के चीफ मिनिस्टर यात्रा के अगेंस्ट कर रहे हैं, सबसे पहले इससे यात्रा का फायदा हो रहा है.
The kind of visuals that have been tweeted by Dr. Himanta Biswa Sarma, the Honorable Chief Minister of Assam, with regard to Rahul Gandhiji's Yatra and what his supporters are doing, they are unacceptable and they are condemnable.
ಅದನ್ನು ತಡೆ ಓಡ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಕೆಲಸವನ್ನು ಭಾರತೀಯ ಜನತಾ ಪಕ್ಷದ ಕೆಲವು ಪುಂಡ್ರುಗಳು ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ.
Okay, before we go over to the political analysts and spokespeople, we want to get to you the facts, what actually happened on the ground. We have our reporter Preeti Priyadarshini who is joining us right now. Let's go over to her for more context. Preeti, 3 separate incidents that the Congress is talking about. Number 1, they're saying that yesterday we were prevented from going to a shrine. Number 2, they're saying that we were not allowed, Rahul Gandhi was not allowed to speak to students at a university in Meghalaya. And number 3, they're saying today that they were not allowed inside Guwahati. What is the truth here? Where were they not allowed? Where had they already been told they would not be allowed to enter? And when Rahul Gandhi says that the BJP and the Home Ministry is controlling this, what do your sources tell you is the truth in this?
See, when it started, when the Yatra started in Assam, yesterday also we saw that in Batadrawa Than, which is a very auspicious place here, which is very much related to the roots of Assamese people, Assamese culture. They wanted to visit, and it's very true that they were not allowed to enter the place by the Satradhikars, by the, we can see the people in the Satra, in the Than, and they were not allowed to enter, for which Gaurav Gogoi, which the local MP, he had to go and offer prayers in Batadrawa Than, but they were not allowed to go to the Than with Rahul Gandhi along with them. That is truth of the part that they have spoken. And then when we come to the USTM, the university where he had to deliver his speech to the students, it has been known that there are no facts about, no proof about someone calling the authorities and asking them not to allow Rahul Gandhi to speak to the students. But yes, today what we saw during the rally was that he was not allowed, and the students had to come to the street, and they were waving highs and trying to talk to the Congress leader Rahul Gandhi. Again, when we talk about today's incident where a lot of action was happening between the police forces, the security personnel and the Yatris who were trying to break the barricade into the city, yes, it is again truth that they were not, they were previously also stated that they cannot enter the city for the Yatra. However, the congressman also, the Congress workers also had questioned it, stating that previously there were certain rallies which took place in the city, definitely went through the city. JP Nadda was here with a road show, and again we have seen Prime Minister Narendra Modi doing road shows, Himanta Biswa Sharma Das. So they were questioning that why can't Congress do that, for which they had to break the barricade. But again, they were previously again and again stated to not take the route through the city, for which there will security personnel at Khanapara, which is the gateway to the city. When we come from Meghalaya through Khanapara, we have to enter the city. So there a lot of security personnel were there, and they were trying to stop the yatris, where we could see that a lot of action happened, where the police had to resort to lathi charge, and the Congress chief of Assam, Bhupen Bora, was injured, and along with that the working president was also injured in this action. However, we could also see that for a long time they tried to enter the route through which it goes through the city to the particular place Hajo, where they did the press conference, where Rahul Gandhi did the press conference. They tried to take the route, but they were stopped, and which is why the action happened. We could see that Rahul Gandhi and Gaurav Gogoi were both of them were giving speeches on the vanity van on which they were doing the yatra. They were addressing the public, and they were also urging the public to help them to enter the city. So that is what, when we talk about the truth and facts of today's incident, even yesterday's incident, yes, in certain places they have been restricted to enter the city, enter places, but there are no proofs that the state authorities have ordered the people to not let them enter. But yes, for today's incident, they were stated that in order to maintain the traffic, the normal traffic, in order to not disrupt the normal city life, and also not to disturb the common public, they were not allowed to take the city route, but they denied it and they tried to take the route.
Preeti, thank you for providing us with the exact picture on the ground. Let's now go over to our panelists for this discussion. Charu Pragya joins us. She's a spokesperson of the BJP. Bhavya Narasimha Murthy is a spokesperson for the Congress, and R. Rajagopalan stays on with us, senior journalist. Charu Pragya was also with us earlier. Let's go over to each of them to understand more. First, I'm going to go over to Bhavya Narasimha Murthy from the Congress. Ma'am, I want to come to you to understand the Congress's version of what took place today. We'll focus on two of the three. So we'll focus on him not being allowed to enter into the shrine yesterday, and him not being allowed to enter into Guwahati, because the third claim which he's made, which is that he was not being allowed to speak to students because the Home Ministry stopped him, we don't have any official proof for that. So ma'am, if we focus on the first two stories, I just want to ask you, can you tell us formally what happened yesterday at the shrine? Because there are officials that are saying that, look, people from the shrine, officials from the shrine had already reached out to the Congress and told them that they should not try to travel at that moment because it would be full of people. So what is the Congress's formal version of exactly what happened yesterday and today?
So, before that, I would like to give a little bit of context to this. As we all know, Bharat Jodo Yatra 1 from Kanyakumari to Kashmir, it had lakhs of people showed us love, millions, supported us. It was a huge success. We all know that. And we started from Manipur, our second Yatra, asking for Nyay. And over the period of past many days, since the Yatra has started, Assam has been one of the states where, we have been stopped at multiple points. And not just that, they have actually sent BJP Karyakartas, they come, they flag off, they show their flags, and they are creating a ruckus in a yatra. That just shows the Assam's chief minister, either he has no control over his government himself, or he is organizing all of this. Why will someone not be allowed inside a temple? From Kanyakumari to Kashmir, every time they entered any city, most of the places, Rahul Gandhi has visited religious places, whether it is a mosque or church or temple, all of these. But yesterday, exactly the day when Ram Pratishtha was happening, why were we stopped? So they are going to tell us when to go and enter the temple, when not to enter a temple now? It's a peaceful yatra that's happening. We haven't seen any disturbance when the yatra happened from Kanyakumari to Kashmir. Why are there so many people? I think the whole country has seen that Himanta Biswa is a corrupt chief minister, I think he's even proving to be a coward.
Okay, ma'am, just stay with us 1 second. So you're saying a lot of the statements we also heard from Rahul Gandhi. So I do want to go over then to the BJP, Charu Pragya, to understand the BJP's response to this. Ma'am, I know you already have some points to make. I do want to ask you though, two key points. Number one, when it comes to visiting the shrine yesterday, this question, we had reporters on the ground who told us that yes, thousands of people did visit, but there were not enough people to prevent a leader like Rahul Gandhi visiting. That seems to be a little severe. Ma'am, what does the BJP have to say about that? And today, the fact that he was not allowed to enter Guwahati at all because of, again, quote-unquote, a law and order situation. Can you prevent a key leader like Rahul Gandhi from entering into such an important city?
Thank you very much, Toya. And first, I want to respond to what the Congress spokesperson has said. By her own admittance, she has said that there was absolutely no disturbance that was created when the Yatra went from Kashmir to Kanyakumari, right? So you have travelled the length of India and you encountered no trouble. So it's not the BJP which is trying to make any kind of trouble for you. You are most welcome to go wherever you want as your leader discovers a little bit more of India. The important thing here is, and as the Chief Minister of Assam has also tweeted, and he's tweeted with visuals, he's tweeted with videos, that there was a violation of the agreed terms and the guidelines for the Yatra. There was a violation of the route that was agreed upon. And we saw how Congress workers literally broke down the barricading with Rahul Gandhi himself goading them on. I heard his speech. It is there on video for everyone to see. And that is what the police is using for their investigation. So you cannot run away from the fact that your workers did incite violence. You were talking about Congress people getting injured. A policeman was also injured. So please, let's take this seriously. Most importantly, you were talking about people with BJP flags trying to disrupt the Yatra. Let me tell you, the same Chief Minister of Assam actually ordered an FIR to be filed against the person who tried to disrupt the Yatra. Now, this is being a balanced leader. This is being a fantastic, able administrator. Now, let's come back to the Yatra. Rahul Gandhi started asking for Nyaya in 2019 as well. The people of India gave him Nyaya. He saw the election results. He's doing the same thing. In 2024, he's asking for Nyaya again. Let me assure you, the people of India will give you complete Nyaya again, because we have seen how two-faced Congress has been about everything. As for the shrine and the Mandir, now it is the prerogative of the Mandir to decide certain things depending on their current situation on ground. But if you remember the visuals of Rahul Gandhi outside the Mandir, while bhajan and kirtan was going on around him, everybody was clapping, dancing, singing. He sat there mute. He did not participate. So are you going to the Mandir only to make a political statement, or are you going because you have some asta? That distinction you need to make, and you cannot misuse the something like asta to just gain some political brownie points. Why didn't you choose any other day? And
Ma'am, can I just ask you one follow-up question
here? The CM said very clearly you could have chosen a better day.
We were talking about the visit to Guwahati that took place today, or that was supposed to take place today. Again, what our sources on the ground tell us is that the Congress was not approved. No route inside Guwahati was approved. The only route that was approved was on a highway. So to prevent a party and to prevent an entire group, it's not just the party, it's the followers that are coming around with them, none of them being allowed inside Guwahati. Ma'am, you don't think that's a bit extreme?
No, absolutely not. See, tell me, what have you done when you entered Guwahati? You are giving a speech which is asking people to ride over the barricades, injure the policemen. You are saying it. So the police is fair to decide, and you can carry on this yatra across the length and the breadth of the country. So please don't blame the government of one single place that you were not allowed to do what you wanted to do. Rahul Gandhi also does not understand basic geography. He quoted the name of a college in Meghalaya, and he is blaming that on the CM of Assam. There is a lot of difference between Meghalaya and Assam. So he needs to take care of basic geography first and make sure the crowd does not become unruly because of his supporters.
Okay, let's go over to Bhavya Narasimha Murthy for a response. Ma'am, we weren't able to hear you earlier when you were speaking. Do go ahead.
The BJP spokesperson was saying that Congress is creating a ruckus. Why would Congress workers hold BJP flags and go inside a Congress rally? isn't this your chief minister who is a coward sent these goons to create
No,
a
you didn't
ruckus
hear
in a
my
peaceful
response.
protest?
No, you didn't
No,
hear my
the
response.
time
And don't make
has
personal attacks
come
against our
that
chief minister. I will not allow it. Toya, I will not allow this because without any
Please
facts,
check.
she is making personal remarks against the chief minister. I will completely not allow it. What kind of language is she using? I can speak in the same way about Rahul Gandhi and every other Congress leader, but am I doing that? No, don't resort to personal attacks on our chief minister. And I will remind you that it was this chief minister who ordered an FIR against the people who were disrupting the Yatra. You should be thanking him, not abusing him.
Okay.
Your leader goes on to the children of the chief minister. That is how much disgrace you get onto yourself.
Miss Narasimha Murthy,
No,
Miss
you need
Pragya,
to apologize
one
for
second,
personal
I'm not
attacks.
actually
Stick
able
to
to hear
facts.
either of you.
Stick to facts.
Let me go to one sec. Bhavya Narasimha Murthy.
Toya, she cannot make personal attacks against the chief minister repeatedly. You have something of logic to say that. Don't keep attacking the chief minister at a personal level. I'm sure you can do better. Did your party teach you to do better? So move beyond personal attacks. Don't call him names. Talk on facts because I'm telling you facts.
I want to ask a question to Bhavya Narasimha Murthy now. Charu Pragya, just give me a second. Bhavya Narasimha Murthy, I need to ask you here, and this is a question that frankly we in the media have wondered over the last few weeks, and this is a question we have of the Congress. Ma'am, the accusations that have been made by a key leader in Assam, a female leader in Assam, that B.V. Srinivas, a Congress youth leader, had, according to her, sexually harassed her. Ma'am, she's again and again asked that the Congress leader Rahul Gandhi address that. I'm bringing it up right now, ma'am, because we're talking right now of the BJP government and how they've handled this yatra. But this is a young Congress leader, a female leader, asking, and I know it's easy for the Congress to say, let the police take its path, but it wouldn't harm or hurt Rahul Gandhi to make a statement about it, would it, ma'am?
You know, we have our own inquiry happening and the police have taken up the issue. So, do you mean to say Congress party is the only party where they stand for women's rights? And now this issue also, we are letting the police take its course. Unlike BJP, who is only
Priyanka
protecting
Chaturvedi
rape
left because
and
of that. Ankita is making
people who
complaints
harass
because of
people.
that.
We
Your
all know
leaders
about
have
it.
been
We all
raped.
know that the of BJP is being
Your
accused
social media heads
by
have been
other
driven
people
out of
that
jobs.
they don't give a damn about it. And how can you question
Did
them
Rahul
when
Gandhi make
we
a
have let the
statement?
police-
For everything you want Modi ji to make
The
a
whole
statement in
police-
this country, did Rahul Gandhi
Okay.
make a statement about this?
Miss Pragya, I'll ask you
The way
to...
you're questioning Rahul Gandhi as
Right.
if he is the Prime Minister. I am questioning the Prime Minister as a citizen, as a woman of this country. where
You
the
of
whole
course
West
question the
is
Prime Minister. That's why I'm asking, did Rahul Gandhi make a statement about this?
have a word about
Was
it.
a dressing down given, at least a dressing down given to your youth leader? At least that, if not suspension. What action have you taken?
He's supposed to make statements on how
Yeah, we're talking about a Congress leader right now.
This,
We are talking about a Congress leader right now. You want Modi ji to make a statement about a Congress Karyakarta sexually abusing another Congress
Let me go now
Karyakarta. Is
to our
that what
senior
you want the
journalist,
Prime
R.
Minister to do?
Rajagopalan. I'd like to thank both Charu Pragya and Bhavya Narasimha Murthy, but I'll ask them to stay with us. Let's go over to our Rajagopalan right now. So you've stayed with us through this back and forth that we've watched play out right now. So I want to come to you to ask you. You've seen the Congress get stopped at 3 different points now in the last 2 days. Now, we've heard what the Congress has to say. They're saying that this is being remote controlled by the Home Ministry. There's no proof of it at all that has been put forward. But at the same time, one could ask, what kind of proof could you even expect in a situation like this? Sir, how do you see all of the developments in the last 2 days?
It's politics. Nyaya Yatra is not getting publicity or attraction by the media. That is why Rahul Gandhi is doing this. Apart from that, my understanding is if Meghalaya, the Home Minister has instructed not to allow it, tomorrow the Yatra is going to enter West Bengal. What is going to be the strategy of Mr. Rahul Gandhi? Is he going to attack Mamata Banerjee? Today she said, we will not go with left political parties. So there is a problem between Congress and Mamata Banerjee. Suppose if she unleashes this type of word or even some sort of violence taking place like Assam, what would be the situation of India alliance? So therefore, Rahul Gandhi's Yatra is ill-timed. Now we have got another 40 days to go for polls, national polls. And he, instead of talking about the seat sharing, instead of talking about who is going to head the India alliance, and instead of talking about the common minimum program of the Congress or for the India alliance, why should Rahul Gandhi take this type of yatra? Is just to create a diversion from Ayodhya Mandir? or to create some sort of inconveniences to the ruling parties there? Mamata Banerjee is going to give a befitting reply if Mr. Rahul Gandhi does the same drama as he did it in Meghalaya and Assam. Mamata Banerjee will take care. And second thing, the Congress spokesperson has repeatedly said Hemanta Biswa Sarma is a coward. She should withdraw that word. She cannot use it. Suppose if BJP uses a word against Rahul Gandhi, will she tolerate that? So Congress spokesperson should come prepared for discussion, not abusing others.
Okay, we'll go over to Bhavya Narasimha Murthy for a response.
I said personal attacks ke alawa kuch bol de.
Names against our leaders. They didn't even consider Sonia Gandhi as a woman, and even the Chief Prime Minister called her a Jersey cow, sir.
Bhavya, if I could ask you, all right, Bhavya, if I could ask you to respond specifically to the question we asked you earlier.
Yatra. Why do you say coward? Why do you say this?
Beyond rhetoric, she has nothing to add here, Toya.
Mallikarjun Kharge allowed this? Will Mallikarjun Kharge
learn to speak well of people? Learn to speak well of people.
I don't think we're making any progress on this. Let's go back to our Rajagopalan for a second. Sir, you posited a rather interesting theory right now when you said this big question of why this yatra is even being taken out right now, when in fact perhaps the party unit should be coordinating with other parties across the entire country in the run-up to the Lok Sabha elections. Why do you think they've decided to take it out at this time? How do you see it?
My understanding is Rahul Gandhi does not gel with the Congress leaders. There is a tiff between Mallikarjun Kharge and Rahul Gandhi. There is differences of opinion between Congress leaders and Rahul Gandhi. There is a problem within three Gandhis, mother, daughters, brother. That is why Mr. Rahul Gandhi, off tangent, he takes a yatra. First it was Nyaya Yatra, now it is, violence yatra. So therefore, Mr. Rahul Gandhi does not get attraction in the media. He wants to do this type of, political dramas to harp against, to borrow the words of Mr. Hardeep Singh Puri to CNN News 18, Mr. Rahul Gandhi is an entertainer.
Okay, let me go back to Bhavya Narasimha Murthy, who's with us. Ma'am, I just want to come to you now for your response on all of this. I also want to point out, ma'am, this is actually a statement that you've had multiple political observers also make, this line of thinking, this questioning of why Gandhi decided to take out the yatra in the first place in these last few months, and this question of whether or not it was actually diverting the Congress party's resources away in key states from focusing on campaigning. Ma'am, do respond.
No. We have very clearly stated the reason for our Bharat Jodo Yatra, whether it was the first Yatra or the second Yatra. We have mostly concentrated on the problems and all the injustice that the Modi government has been forcing upon the people of India, whether it is unemployment, whether it is violence against women, whether it is, the anti-farm law bills. We are speaking against all of this. We want to bring awareness, and most importantly, all this hatred that's been spreading across India in the name of religion.
Sure, ma'am, but the timing is what's being questioned here.
Ask for justice. That is the main reason for our Nyaya Yatra. We are very clear on this, and this is not about election. This is about the people of India. This is about protecting the idea of India, somewhere which is getting lost in the Modi rule. That's very clear from our side. One. And senior sir,
what are you saying? If it's not about elections, why we are part of a political party?
Okay. Bhavya, let me just go over very quickly. 1 second, Charu Pragya, I'm coming to you for your last comment. Do give a response, but also tell me, ma'am, in the next few days, will the Yatra see a smooth route out of Assam? Tell me.
So, Congress actually lives in La La Land. Because if they think that this yatra is nothing to do with elections, I don't know what they are doing. When they should be discussing the seat share, as sir very rightly said, they are taking out a yatra. If they are discussing issues, we've not heard that discussion. Because all I can hear is confusion between Meghalaya and Assam and personal attacks on the Assam Chief Minister. Beyond that, nothing important has come out. The most important thing here is nobody is disrupting the yatra, please. Now, this is a narrative they try to float. She is talking about safety of women. She has nothing to say, absolutely nothing to say about the Youth Congress chief sexually abusing a young girl in the Congress itself, a young party worker in the Congress itself.
We did ask her about that. Ma'am, we've run out of time. I'd like to thank all of our panelists for joining us this evening. All right, with that, we're going to have to draw our show to a close. Thank you for staying with us over this last hour on CNN News 18.
Viewers, the queue extended as far as the eye could see. Hundreds of thousands of ardent devotees have gathered in Ayodhya anxious to catch a glimpse of their Ram, their Prabhu. Only a day earlier, their idol had been finally reinstated in his own birthplace, reversing the course of a painful 500-year-old history. The devout waited patiently, happy to brave the elements, the biting pre-dawn cold as the sun climbed higher into the horizon to bless the birth of a new age, an age marked by beneficence, tolerance and justice, virtues that Prime Minister Modi had declared in a poignant speech are to now epitomize the Indian state, taking inspiration from the Maryada of the ideal Purushottam. We are told that never has Ayodhya seen an invasion of Astha of this magnitude, not even at the height of the Ram Janambhoomi movement. Look at those pictures, viewers, in the middle of your screens. Millions gathered, perhaps only for a 30-second darshan, a glimpse. The Prime Minister had perhaps anticipated this unprecedented show of devotion. After all, he had made it a point to tell us that each one of us, irrespective of caste and creed,